Hello everyone, welcome back. I didn't really save, but I just looked at it. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly deigned to give me weekends off from our morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It's gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far, I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be there somewhere today? Hey, you're going to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly. So don't forget, okay? Crap, Emmy's track meet. I'd better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running. She's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so, I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I admit it, it's almost comforting to know that we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You can't stop feeling unique, in which most cases would be a bad thing. But in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids aren't here because they're missing a leg or have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college. But there it is. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards. Up here. We came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume? Rin leads the way, and soon we're settled down on an almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume? She's got rather long hair done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar-seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. Okay, that's great. The woman laughs again, in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Meiko Ibarazaki, Emmy's mother. Pleased to meet you. I can't really do women's voices that well, so... Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. I'm sorry. Hizao. I'm Hizao. Hizao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Miss Sabarazaki. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seeming pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Miss Ibarazaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence, and my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry. Forgive an old woman for her amusements. Old woman? She doesn't look that old to me. Clearly Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. I direct my attention to the track, where they are preparing for their first sprint. It looks like a 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling, with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least half a second behind. Miss Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounded suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since last time. That was incredible. Miss Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired. As if she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they'd take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh. You seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. Yeah, I kind of get that way too. If it's someone I care about doing something, then sure, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. But like, if it's something I don't care about and like no one I care about is doing it, I just won't give a shit. I kind of feel the same way. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you can, see? She directs my attention towards the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed. But we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds. But in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, a fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Miss Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know? Yeah, she told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emmy's father, but after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where's her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not wanting to answer the question, but at the same time, not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. It's not surprising considering... They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages... What is he, 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and I'll call her later tonight? Of course. I mean, like, regardless of, like, who that was she was calling, it's like... It's kind of shitty, just, like, you know, just... Oh, I'm gonna watch my daughter do something, but then, like, right after it's done, I gotta leave because I got a random call from this random dude, I guess. Also, my father would do that a lot. Anyways, like, I would do something in school, and, sometimes he would be there, but, like, he would just randomly leave after I'm done, like, what? Like, what? Anyways, so, I admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice the reality that the relay's about to begin, but when I look, I can't find Emmy. I thought Emmy would be running this relay. She runs anchor. So she won't be running for a while yet. Ah. Did you see it? Huh? Emmy at her Emmyest? Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handoff. Once again, I am taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhales sharply, and actually looks concerned for a second. Aw, Emmy? Did she hurt herself? Do you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns, as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually, that proves to be too tiresome, and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. That's not gonna be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try all that hard. Or at all, but hey, whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates. Almost all of them congratulating her on her run. Rin seems to be either waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing, even if she had arms. It doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me, or us. Hey, I showed up. Hey, you showed up. I guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hazao didn't find one. Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, huh, Emmy? Emmy laughs at Rin and me. It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow. Sure. Good. So how'd I look? I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing, and settle for the substantially safer very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is, given her lack of legs. I figured she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her effort somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that it looked a little slow for the relay, but I guess it did fine, huh? Actually, I noticed Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? He noticed it. At the end. That's no good. I guess the nurse will look at it for me later. There's a carelessness in her voice. As if it isn't a big deal. But I suddenly notice a slight twitch on her face. Like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then I notice her breathing is a little shallow too. I guess she is really hurt. She must notice my concern because she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running, that is all. And come on, a little pain isn't going to stop me. Oh no? Emmy grins for a moment. She looks like she did. Emmy grins, and for a moment she looks like she did during her sprint. Fierce and unconquerable. Oh, hold on. Text history. Or to put it another way, really beautiful. Hasn't yet? Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh? Damn right. I'm Emmy Barzaki. Fastest thing on no legs. I didn't stop for anything. Impressive. Emmy giggles, and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday, as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning run, of course. Right, of course. Alright, your mom wanted to say she's proud of you. She will call you later tonight. I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over. She shivers slightly, and I realize she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me. So without a word, I throw it around her shoulders. Emmy jumps slightly and grins at me. Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, looked like it. As I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket could have been taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey, Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking at your homework now, if you don't want to be up late as Al. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget. How could I? Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all. Hold on, did I... With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to retrieve her medals, or whatever they pass off as a medal these days. Oh, I didn't skip any text, okay. Rin and I head away from the track. Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not getting that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big a deal? Emmy was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there's a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I used to think... I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. So yeah, the days are starting to pass by more quickly. Wait, hold on. Return, okay. You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days. The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days? I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Of course I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. After the track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired, so I've been warming up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. It was only slight. It was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I kept running and finished just fine, so really it couldn't have been that bad. Why do I feel like I'm making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel I need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to my unwilling concern. Emmy, who seemed concerned anyway. Wait. Really, it comes down to my being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seemed concerned anyway. I'm not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room. Azao, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine, but if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard. But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea. Now where have I heard that before? He laughs and pats me on the shoulder. She's rubbing off on you, I guess. His expression changes again, and he's back in serious mode. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication. And it doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I'd prefer not to have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. A bit of a lofty goal to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge. I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. I've got to remember to take my medication. You're right. I'm sorry to worry you. Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Hizao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast. I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious. I suppose you've started to enjoy your runs with Emmy then, eh? Yeah, they've really been helping me. I mean, until today I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet? She was incredible. The nurse nods, grinning all the while. That she was, Hizao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of her to loan her your jacket, by the way. Oh yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'd honestly forgotten about that. I still haven't gotten it back. The nurse gets a smile that makes me feel like he's made a joke. Not to you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. And I know she appreciates your running with her in the mornings. This one catches me off guard a little. Sure, she mentioned it's easier to keep to a schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that I was doing her a favor at all. I thought she was doing me the favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders. She tries harder when you're around. If there's someone else running with her, she's going to push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you. What the heck does that mean? Oh, you'd love to know, wouldn't you? He laughs in the style of evil megalomaniacs. No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If Rin ran with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is, you're helping her. Even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that. Even if she never says it. What do you mean, even if she never says it? Emmy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other long enough that I can read her most of the time. I admit it, I have no idea what he's talking about. Emmy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realizes that he's been rambling, and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed. Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damned medicine. I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Emmy. Whoops, sorry about that. You okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, it's my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person. The words pull forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. I gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Emmy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay. No worries. I can feel Emmy's body relax as I continue to assure her that I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me, as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. She smells like sweat, or how adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity. And a hint of strawberries. From her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it, it's not your fault. You sure? Her voice is muffled. Mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for a few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can also feel... I can feel Emmy's heartbeat calming down, and I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on top of her head. Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Hizao. Emmy, you gonna come here anytime soon? Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Emmy brushes back her hair nervously and laughs. Of course not. Uh, I'll, see you later, okay? Oh, and Hazal? Hmm? Take your damn medicine! The last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder. Yeah, I'll remember. See you later. The nurse smiles again, like he's in on some joke I don't know about, and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one, if the thoughts are running through my head are now an indication. She was really soft. My pills are waiting for me when I make it to my room. I swallow them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting after the runs to take them. For some reason, I figured it was when I woke up or not at all. But no, they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. My thoughts drift back to the hug in the hallway. It's weird. You'd expect someone to smell foul after a run. But for some reason, Emmy smelled right. That twinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. I really need that shower. Strange that it feels so natural for me to go up to the roof these days. I would have never done such a thing at my old school. In those days, I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true. Though I like to sit alone, I also like to watch people. I always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears I was wrong. Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart, so there you have it. I don't know myself that well. Now I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they're both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than anyone I felt than oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than I felt to anyone at my old school. Somehow I get the feeling they'd at least visit me if I wound up in in the hospital. Yeah, like yeah, what like okay. So again, there is like a lot of fake people like in real life and stuff. Like after I was done with high school, like I never like I haven't heard from my like high school friends in years. And was it like okay, I was class of 2021, so yeah, it's been 5 years since high school, and I haven't heard from any of them in like 3 years. So like yeah, like frankly, like I haven't heard from any of my high school friends in a long time. So like then again, I get life, gets in the way, you meet new people, yada yada yada. But like at the same time, it's kind of rough not having any like real relationships outside of family. That it's like, oh yeah, I'll visit you in the hospital and stuff. Is like, oh no, you're hurting. Oh yeah, let me call you. Let me call you about this random bullshit I have. But like, oh, well, I'm just gonna continue. Whatever. I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thoughts from my head. There's a light breeze blowing, and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue, with hardly a cloud in it. It's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun seeping into my skin. Voices intrude upon the edge of hearing. Seems to have fallen asleep on us, Rin. Maybe he's faking to lull us into a false sense of security. Why would he do that? No idea. Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something to make sure he's really asleep. Huh, what? Emmy looms over me. Like only a short girl. Emmy looms over me like only a short girl can, peering at me intently. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Oh, you're awake? I guess we don't have to kick you then. Was it part of your master plan? What are you talking about? Emmy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with the motion. I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. Although, it's pretty comfortable, I suppose. She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Rin sits opposite from the two of us, a move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy whenever she speaks. I notice how she purses her lips when she's thinking about something, squinting slightly as if that would improve her thinking ability. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice. Perhaps for the first time, how she laughs with her whole body rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. It's about this time I realize Emmy's looking at me. Her voice raised slightly, so she probably just asked me a question. Sorry, I kinda zoned out for a moment there. Emmy rolls her eyes, while a slight quirk of her eyebrow is the only sign that Rin's even paying attention. I said, did you get a career survey in your class too? You know, one of those, what do you want to do after high school things. I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow. What are you going to put down? That's a really good question. I guess I'd always figure I'd go to college after high school, but I have no idea what to do once I got there. Yeah, like, frankly, you shouldn't be going into colleges unless you have a very specific career path in mind. Like, for example, being a doctor, being a lawyer, you know, like any of those positions, because what will happen is, right, you will get student loans, or like they will push you to get student loans, and then they will force you into debt for like 40 years, and that's what will happen. So like I would only recommend college to those that, you know, actively have a, you know, career path that they want to go down that requires a lot of study and a lot of planning. Because honestly, I think the vast majority of jobs don't even require a college degree. Like, in the sense of, like, needing this, I guess as a quote-unquote requirement to get employed by an employer. Some of them are like, get a college degree. But, like, I just have the distinct feeling that there was nothing from... There was very little that a degree by itself grants someone, is what I'm trying to say. Because, in all honesty, the vast majority of degrees are useless. Like, you could easily, like, just hire a self-taught guy, right, and they would do pretty much the same thing. And, you know, like, anyway, whatever. And with the heart attack and all, I'd really been concentrating on each day as it came rather than making long-term plans. I suppose I can safely start planning ahead again. Yeah, to tell the truth, with how life is right now, like especially in the United States, the vast majority of people can't like start planning ahead safely because, frankly, like, you have the economy, you have all this shit going down. I wouldn't be surprised if we had like a civil war in the next decade. like planning ahead was something for the people that had a future. Anyways, I've always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, so it'll be nice to come up with one again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact right now that I've got absolutely no clue. I had always assumed I'd figure it out in college, that or just become a salaryman. It's pretty popular. But do I really want to? That's a tough question. I guess I don't really want to do anything. You don't sound very excited about that one, do you? She laughs as she says this. And I'm caught up in her laugh again. So girlish, high and giggly. Like a, well, pardon the cliche, like a babbling brook. It bubbles out of her, starting in her belly and working its way up her throat. I can't help but laugh myself. It's infectious. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty unhappy with the salaryman idea. To be honest, I haven't given much thought to the future recently. I suppose that these days, I've been more concerned with living one day at a time. Emmy considers this for a moment and grins. That's a pretty good idea, Zhao. I just wrote down pirate. Arr. I'm momentarily stunned, and then I start laughing. I stop myself and manage to gasp out a question. You're not actually serious, are you? Emmy looks mock offended. Well, I've got the legs for it already, so I just kind of figured. Even Rin seems amused by this. Just you wait, I'll be the terror of the high seas. I'll show you all. I've even been working on my pirate voice. She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop, shouting orders. Yar, me hearties, give 'em a broadside with the long guns. We'll wear their guts for garters. Do you even know what that means? Rin's unexpected interruption stops Emmy in her tracks. Not really. But it's all in the delivery. The ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Emmy dashes off immediately, leaving Rin and myself alone on the roof. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh, why the staring then? Rin shakes her head again. Nope, I don't get it. Get what? The staring thing. You two seem to, but I don't. Great, she saw me staring. That she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Rin we're talking about, after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring, I was just tired. Rin actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. No, really, I was just distracted is all. Eager to end this conversation, I head back down to class. I'm greeted by the twin specters of Shizune and Misha, looking like they mean business. Business! Well, Shizune looks like she means business anyway. Misha just looks like she's about to start laughing any minute. Up on the roof again? You know that's dangerous, don't you? That's right. The school cannot be held responsible for any injury that comes from being up there, you know? Furthermore, we could report you for breaking the rules. Misha leans in and whispers conspiratorially. But we won't, Ichan. You three are too cute together. She straightens up again, laughing at my sudden blush. You're too easy to tease, Hichan. Hey, come on. I'm still new here, sort of. Isn't it mean to pick on the newcomer like this? Nope. It's to help you get acclimated to your new surroundings. I see. Well, do you have to be so overzealous about it? Yep. Ah, that aside, Hichan. We were looking for you this morning, but you weren't in your room. Of course I wasn't. I was out for my morning exercise, or here in class bright and early. Unlike you. Shizune looks peeved and a beat... Shizune looks peeved, and a beat later, so does Misha. Or she tries to at any rate. It's because of student council business. You should be grateful that we work so hard for you. Oh, I am. So what do you need me for? Not another attempt to rope me into the to do their dirty work, I hope. We had to give you something, but since you weren't around, we dropped it off in your room. Something like what? You'll find out when you get back, Hichan. Mutuo entering the room ends our conversation, and we all head to our seats. It's only after we've settled down at my desk, and the teacher started talking about something or other, that something odd strikes me. What did Rin mean you two seem to? Was Emmy staring at something too? For a brief moment, I considered the possibility that Emmy was staring at me the way I was staring at her. Of course, that's ridiculous. Still, I can't deny that I wouldn't mind if it were true. But it's best not to think of that. No need to get my hopes up. Come to think of it, when did I start having hopes like that anyway? I shake my head in an attempt to clear it and focus on the lesson. After class, I make my way to my room. Mutuo really piled on the homework today. Before I can open my door, however, I am suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who has just exploded out of his room in a flurry of papers. Hey, we need to talk. Those rooftop shenanigans of yours, man. They've got to stop. What? You're running around on the rooftop with the limbless wonders. They're women, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that. I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses before what can be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently. Look, we're friends, so I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were going to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. You know, it's funny you say that. and I thought of it. You can be sure they've thought of it too. They're crafty. Almost as crafty as I am. I see. Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen. I'm sorry? I need to get a drink, man. I've been inside all day and the tap water's been compromised, as I'm sure you know. So I need to stock up on something canned, got it? But to do that, I need 500 yen. And since I've just saved your life with my timely advice, you can at least spare me 500 yen. You know, if it'll make him go away, 500 yen is a bargain. Actually, hold on. Didn't in the prologue, well, actually not the prologue, Act 1, didn't Hizao already give Kenji 400 yen? And yet here Kenji is acting for another 500 yen. Hizao's never going to get paid back, is he? I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods and thanks and dashes off down the hallway. But not before he locks his door. What an exhausting person. I better go just in case he changes his mind. As I close the door, my heel taps against something lying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper. This must be the something Misha mentioned before. Probably a student council leaflet she slid under the door. However, when I pick it up, I find it couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned, handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age? Anyway, yet as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, this is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing my homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow's morning run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sit at my desk to examine it properly. This is the first piece of mail I've received here at Yamaku, so it'd feel special if it weren't something as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender. written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanaka. Don't do that. Come on. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last person I'd expect to want me to write a letter. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye and didn't look at me in the eye even when she closed the door. It might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I could never figure out the right words to say. I think Iwanako blamed herself for my heart attack. That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two very different things. I told her it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that, the sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened that door and entered my room. So I never managed to say things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. I carefully open the envelope and draw out the folded paper from within. Dear Hizao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second year class got put together in class 3-1 for the final year. So we are pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among third years seems to be pretty anxious about the final exams, even though they are so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year. But here he is nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit, I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in the exams. It's so weird to think that we're already seniors, isn't it? Hold on, let me check something real quick. Time has nearly flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. Yeah, I think I've had quite enough of this. I crumble up the sheet of paper and toss it across the room. My aim is off, so the letter rolls under my nightstand instead of going into my wastebag. That was an apology for abandoning me, except I don't know that I really need it anymore at this point. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and here now, I've got other things on my mind. Emmy, for starters. It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I'm worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought about the hospital in what feels like forever until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I've got exams to study for myself. I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. Also, I really do like that scene because it shows Hizao really growing. It's like, okay, I'm done with this shit. It's like I'm done. But, you know. Also, I think I'm gonna stop here actually, because yeah. New state. Let's see. Actually, how much time? Like, yeah, 7 hours, 31 minutes, so yeah. Alright, well, yeah, I'm gonna return to the main menu. So, alright, well, thanks for watching. Have a nice time. It's been Dean the Autist, and see you later.